If you want to get faster as a sprinter or an athlete, you should understand this research published in the Scandinavian Journal of Medicine and Science in Sports. They analyzed 231 athletes from a variety of sports. They had track and field sprinters, soccer players, rugby players, basketball players, and weightlifters, the entire gamut. They had them sprint 40 meters, and they calculated their individual force velocity profiles for each athlete, as well as their max horizontal power. They used this modeling to ask some pretty cool questions, like how do individual force velocity profiles correlate to sprint performance times? Are we able to predict sprint performance from force velocity profiles? Are we able to predict sprint performance from max power? And importantly, how do we optimize our force velocity profile in order to optimize our sprint performance times? In order to understand their conclusions, I'm going to throw a hypothetical at you, all right? Let's say you have two athletes, exact same 40-yard dash time. You might think, same time, I'll put the two athletes on the same program, they'll both develop optimally. But if you're able to calculate their force velocity profile and you understand this research, you might realize that one athlete is producing a large amount of force while the other athlete is skewed more towards velocity. The force athlete would benefit from more velocity training because their velocity isn't as high, while the velocity athlete would benefit from more strength training because their force isn't as high. So the more we know, the more precise we're able to be with our programming. The researchers were also able to calculate optimal force velocity profiles for individual sprint distances. The longer the distance, the more the profile was skewed towards velocity. The shorter the distance, the more it was skewed towards force. This is an important consideration. Let's say we're dealing with wrestlers. Wrestlers don't need to be able to sprint 40 yards. If a wrestler is sprinting 40 yards in a match, something has gone terribly wrong. However, wrestlers do need to be able to accelerate quickly, violently even, over a very short distance, 1, maybe 2 meters. So their force velocity profile is going to be skewed more towards force. The net is that most athletes benefit from being powerful, but some athletes are fast and need more strength training. Other athletes are very strong and need more velocity training. You know what I'm saying? Hey, I appreciate you watching these and let me geek out about science a bit. If there are any other topics you think would be helpful for us to discuss, please let me know. Most of all, I appreciate you getting strong and fast with science. I'll talk to you soon.